All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Richard.lesperance, and I go by the name of my man Richard. Welcome to A Better Lifestyle. Today, we're going to talk about sales, and I have the pleasure to have Benjamin Brown with me. So he has over 20 years of experience in the sales industry. So I think you guys are going to benefit from that episode. So please, Benjamin, tell a little bit about yourself, and we'll get started.
No problem. Well, I started in sales back in the late 90s, and I've had transcended from that about 5 years ago into coaching, working with small businesses and entrepreneurs, teaching the actual language of sales, which most people don't understand when I say the word language. So I coach based upon that, and it's 360 sales. So all the aspects of sales, from management to technology to CRM, things of that nature, to improve businesses. Most people don't understand the nuances of what sales has to offer. So I analyze a lot of that, looking for more proficiency. And of course, that produces profit and also performance. So looking for those three P's: proficiency, profit, performance, in a business helps them generate more, motivate, and also create more sales. And I love what I do.
So what's your sales experience? What have you touched in the past?
Oh, well, I'm, you name it. I mean, I've done a lot of products and a lot of services, from car sales to gym sales to, all the products in between, as far as technology, IT, training, medical. Done that from management standpoint, where I've actually ran teams, to actually building sales teams, hiring for sales teams as well. So that's why I say 360, because the ramifications of what I've done in the industry is on all different levels. And so when I work with individuals or companies, I'm able to look at those different levels for improvement, and find deficiencies, which is one of my keys to find out where the money, where you're missing the money in the beginning before you start going and getting new money.
So talk to us about the 10-step process that you have.
Well, every business normally, or every sale, has 10 steps. Not every business need to have 10. Like I always say, the gym businesses has 5: need, use, affordability, spouse, and guest pass. Right? So 10 steps, even if it has nothing to do with money, there's steps that people automatically do in a sales. A lot of people, as an analogy to understand, it's like when guys back in the 10 years ago did pickup. They used to do these steps to pick up girls, like you got to do this, then you got to do this, to do this to get the girl, to try to get her interested. So sales is the same thing. Everything is sales. So there's steps and little nuances that people don't pay attention to, even if they're doing it automatically, because sales is about getting somebody to move, right? It's not really to talk. It's a language of getting somebody to move. Go to this website, take a look at this, call this number. In the end, give me your credit card number. All of these are baby steps based on interests of what people want and need, to get them what they want and need in return, revenue or something of that nature as well. But sales is, even if you're married, you're still in sales, right? You stop selling, you get divorced.
Okay. So can you well, you did elaborate some stuff, but like in a basic, like for businesses who uses 5 steps, what are those steps?
So if you want to start from the beginning, the first one is the difficult one. It's called getting prepared. What that means, are you physically, mentally able to prepare for the no's, the rejection that you normally take? Because sales is about rejection, period, right? And so are you able to understand what that is and change? A lot of people can't take rejection from the beginning and not willing to change. That's why they don't like sales. So you have to be able to make those changes and do it. Number 2 is qualification. Of course, are you talking to the right person? Right? Number 3 is connect and relate. Basically, what you need to do is figure out what connections you have with that person individually, so you can ask the difficult questions that you need. Set up the presentation, and there's a number of other steps. So, I mean, it'll take me hours to explain normally each step as we go along. But there's 10 steps, and in the end, the 2 most important is the closing of the sale, and the most important is getting a testimonial and referral. So your best customer is the one that you just sold. And so being able to get a referral or testimony for him will help you elevate your sales or your product to the next level as well. Most people don't focus on that.
What would you think in all those steps that the ones that businesses struggle with the most?
I call it set up the presentation. If I could, would you? What that means is I'm not assuming. I'm before I present to you, I'm asking you if I can solve this problem, which we identify in our conversation, that you have a problem that you need or want to solve. And if I can solve that for you, can we move forward and get that solved today? I'm not going to assume because most people would think the presentation will sell them on that. The presentation normal times doesn't, right? And that's why the first rule I teach in sales is never assume anything. It's all ruled out by questions. So most people don't ask enough questions. And the reason they don't is because they're not confident enough, which means they're not prepared. So one step builds on another. And once you have all these together, it makes it much easier to help people with your product or service.
How has the sales process has changed over the years?
I tell people it has not changed. It's just the tools that you have now. When I started, we didn't have computers. We didn't have email. We didn't have, all we had was fax machine and a phone. So now you have another tool. You can look back before then, 20 years before that, or 40 years before that, the event of the telephone. We didn't have that before then, right? And then before that, the television. So, I mean, it's been going on since the Romans' time. It has not changed. It's just the different tools that you added to now. Because now, what it used to do used to go door to door, right? Now, then you can go on a phone. So you can hit more people by the phone. Now you have email. You can hit 10,000 people in one day with an email. So it's just the tools that you have to reach the masses or your target market makes it easier, but you still have to close.
So when it comes to leads, how do you think businesses should nurture those leads in the process of the sales process?
Well, once the lead penetrates the skin of your company, whether it's a phone, walking through the door, an email, then you put them directly into your sales process, every single one. And it should be conducive. And everybody in the company should know something about sales, either the janitor, the receptionist, the mechanic. Everybody in your company should know something about sales because anytime a customer contacts them, they should be leaning towards the next sale or the next referral. It helps your business.
And I was gonna say, how often do you think companies should have sales training?
Well, what happens is that, like anything else as humans, we fall off. So being able to check on that, like an evaluation, it's like a car. You get an oil change every 3,000 miles, even though nothing's wrong with it, you should, right? So a sales rep should be the same as getting evaluated about every 2 months or so. Or most time, that's the job of a sales manager, is to constantly check on them, the maintenance of those salespeople, to make sure that they're, operating at optimal performance, or figuring out what's wrong. Is it mental? Is it something at home? Because sales is a skill. It's a performance skill. You have to do it, right? So if you're not mentally there, you're not going to be able to do it well. I always put it as far as analogy, like an actor. You go up and you act every night on a play. Every night you do the same play, and then one night you have a cold. Of course, you're not going to be at your best 100%, but the show must go on, right?
How important you think storytelling is for the companies when it comes to online presence and everything?
Well, it makes people, what's step number 3 is what's called connect and relate. How are you connecting and relating to your customer? Now we do it through what's called social media. So people have a chance to know, like, and trust. It all goes back to know, like, and trust. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. Whether it's 30 contacts in the email, passing a billboard every day, seeing the same sign, all these things play parts in people know, liking, and trusting. I have a problem. I need to get it solved. I need to trust that you can do it, right?
Right.
So that's when you build that. That's why we do a lot of networking. Who do you know? When somebody refers you, it saves a lot of time because you trust that person. I should trust the next person. I mean, it's an ongoing thing, right?
Biggest mistakes you see companies do?
Assume. that they have a good sales process.
Any other ones?
That's the main one. If they, at the first thing I ask them, what type of sales process? Every company has a process when it comes to accounting. That's down by the books, right? We might have a marketing process, right? Onboarding process for employees, but not a lot of companies have a sales process. So you can explain how that works, make it very simple for people to understand. And when you onboard new salespeople, they have to indoctrinate that into their mind. This is how we do things here. And the easier you can do that, the more people you can keep, more efficiency for your salespeople.
When it comes to AI, how would companies implement AI in their sales process?
Well, I think right now, that's yet to be seen. There's going to be simpler ways. I think just like when email came out, I can contact 2,000 people. Now I don't have to think about it. I just put it in and it spits it out. It's the same type of deal. Humans, we're lazy until we don't have to be lazy. So it's another way of them just figuring another way of getting rid of a lot of employees that they don't need. But in the end, it will all come back to sales, where now we will weed out. I'd rather talk, say, for example, now voicemail. We didn't have voicemail now. So, voicemail doesn't work most of the time. You'll leave it, people won't contact, right? But that was another tool. So you have to get around that. So now we have AI. People are like, well, I don't want to talk to an AI person. You got the ones now, push this number, push this number. Please, can I talk to somebody for real? So companies who realize this at some point will realize maybe it's just better if we just go back to human on human contact. People will appreciate that more, but most companies want to be efficient, so it's up to them.
So how do you work with small businesses?
Well, I sit down and analyze what they're doing wrong and what their process is in, looking for massive improvement in the beginning that builds a lot of trust to build a relationship or a working relationship, a proof of concept. Say, for example, you work with a marketer. They tell you, oh, we can get you X amount of leads. Yes, you can get X amount of leads. You'll pay thousands of dollars for this company to do it. And then about what happens? 30 days later, you got the leads, but you're still not getting any sales, right? So the main thing is proof of concept or based upon what you do. It's a working relationship. It's a student teacher type deal or a mentor student type of deal. That's where you come into consulting. Am I going to be able to help you? And that's the main key we want to get across, because once that happens, then everything else flows very well.
So over your 20 years, what have you learned in your whole journey?
That I don't know everything. I'm not the best. It's an ongoing thing. You always learn. Sales is always growing, always knowing, and being able to understand that, gives you a better up to understand it. It's just like any other skill in the thing. You're really good, but if you got to keep working at the craft to keep going at it. And that's why when you relay that to other people, you just don't get it one time and that's it. It's an ongoing thing, but it's very rewarding in the class. If you're working in sales, of course, beneficial wise, you can make a lot of money, you can make a lot of people happy, and you can live a good life.
So what would be your last words in regards to the sales process and the whole sales industry?
Well, if you don't have one, and if you're winging it, and if you're still doing well, kudos to you. But it's only a matter of time before competition or something to come into your life where you have to make that change, and you might have to really buckle down and learn how to sell. And if you have that in the beginning, it makes your whole life better, prepared for the ups and downs, especially entrepreneurship. It's all about failure, right? How do I get back out of it? And sales is the key point to keep you going in that game when things go wrong. So learning sales yourself individually is very important. Mark Cuban said, the first thing you have to do as an entrepreneur is learn how to sell, right? So it's not as easy as some people think. So my theory that I tell people, sales is simple, but it's not easy.
So what if someone doesn't like sales and struggles with sales?
Go get another job. It's not for everyone. I tell people that all the time. It's not for everyone. You got to have tough skin. You got to, people say, oh, I just don't like it. Well, I've taken people who have very low personalities and done very well at it because they're able to follow the system. People with personality, they go out there that what they call natural born salespeople. They're winging it all the time. So eventually when things go wrong, they cannot tell you what's going wrong, right? Because they're winging it. So that's the two parts of it. The process will set you free. One step, just continue the steps over and over again. It's repetition.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do.
Right?
Yeah. Where can people find you on social media or the internet?
I tell people follow the link in the description. I give it to you. It's meetwithbenjamin.com, BenJamin. You can schedule a call based upon where you're at in your business or where you want to get into the profession itself. And we can do an assessment call, no charge, and reach out and figure out if sales is where you want to be or if you want to improve your sales. I have a book on Amazon, is Master the Art of Closing a Sale. It's out there. It's #1 bestseller. So that's that. And the website is 360salesconsulting.com.
And what's the size of the companies that you work with, like the employees?
All the way up to 10 million.
No, but I mean the staff number, like the people.
Oh, normally with the staff number, when it's sales, I can handle up to about 15, 20 sales reps at a time, being able to train them efficiently based upon that size, right? So 20 and under.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Benjamin. It was nice meeting you and talking to you.
Thank you.
No problem. I hope everybody found some value in that episode. So my name is Richard.lesperance. I go by the name of my man Richard, and I was with Benjamin Brown, and we'll see you on the next episode, everybody. Bye.